Hello and welcome to our Year with the Ears, our daily vlog where we relive our year living in the Walt Disney World resorts in 2019. Today is day 160.
This morning we woke up very early here at Animal Kingdom Lodge because we are headed to Magic Kingdom to do the Marceline to Magic Kingdom tour. This is on our list of tours to do, but we just haven't gotten around to it. And the travel agent group that we spoke to a few days ago invited us to go along with them this morning, which was incredibly sweet and means that we get to do it with friends, which is always a lot of fun. But that also means we have to get up very early to head down, wait for a bus, and head over to Magic Kingdom. We got there around 7:45. The tour is at 8 o'clock. They gave us our whisper units, that way we can hear the tour guide. We were introduced to our tour guide and of course got to see everyone and talk for a few minutes before the tour started at 8 o'clock.
Now this tour is kind of similar to the Keys to the Kingdom tour we did a couple months ago, but it's a little bit different because Keys to the Kingdom focuses on Magic Kingdom and the history and the story of Magic Kingdom. But Marceline to Magic Kingdom focuses on Walt Disney and his story and how he is tied into the Magic Kingdom. So it's really cool because they kind of talk about different aspects of his life and his personal relationships throughout the tour. It's also a little bit shorter than Keys to the Kingdom and doesn't include lunch like Keys to the Kingdom did. So there's a couple of differences there, but it's still a behind the scenes tour at Magic Kingdom that we were really excited about.
They actually went through and talked about Walt as a father and Walt as a son and Walt as an employee. And it was really cool to just go through the different aspects of his life and learn about him as a different person. And it was also amazing because last year in 2020, we actually got to go to Marceline, Missouri and visit a lot of the places we learned about in this tour, which was really amazing to see and be a part of and get to witness these places that we had learned about in the tour in 2019. So it was very exciting, and we will link the live stream we did of Marceline in the description below.
Now, as our tour started down Main Street, we kind of slowed down towards the hub because there was actually a wedding going on right there in the garden area in front of Cinderella Castle. Beautiful wedding ceremony there. The officiant was dressed like Belle, I noticed that, and then also the bride was holding a Winnie the Pooh plush. So really
the most
Disney wedding right there. A lot of Disney going on. Of course, they had the band and everything out there. Really pretty, really early in the morning to get married, but if you're going to get married at Magic Kingdom, that's how you have to do it. We toured around different lands of the park and looked at different things, and then we got over to the Liberty Square / Fantasyland area, and this is what we have been waiting for. We got to go backstage at the Haunted Mansion, and they took us out backstage between the Rapunzel restrooms and the It's a Small World ride, and we went kind of down this little back alley, and in this side door to kind of a maintenance room, basically. It looked like a workshop. There's a workbench and tools everywhere and actively being used for the maintenance crew. And then we went in this kind of closet door looking thing, and we couldn't turn on the lights because Haunted Mansion is a dark ride, and they take you through this really dimly lit area. You walk back until you get to this back corner and you realize that you're standing in the ballroom. You can't be seen by the guests who are up above, and they have a big yellow line on the floor that says, don't cross this line, because across this line you'll be able to be seen by all the guests on the ride. But I'm standing here looking at the table with the characters all around it and the ghosts around it. I see the dancing people in the ballroom. I see the organist over there. It was the coolest thing because even when you understand how the illusion of the dancing ghosts in the ballroom work, it still doesn't quite click until you see it in person like that. And it's just really, really cool to experience.
That was definitely a highlight of the tour and one that we talked about all day long. It was amazing. Very unique perspective from the ride because we've ridden it so many times. I love Haunted Mansion, but to see how everything works, the creativity, the imagination, it's just amazing. I love it so much. I love learning how things work, how they're created, because honestly, I feel like it makes us appreciate it that much more.
And the tour ended over at Carousel of Progress. We got to ride it, and of course that's the one ride there that Walt had a lot of actual personal involvement with when he did it for the World's Fair. So it was kind of cool to be connected that way through history. And when the tour was over, we got a picture with our tour guide and talked to our friends for just a few more minutes who we were on the tour with, and decided to kind of explore the park a little bit, just hang out in Magic Kingdom for a little while before we headed back to our resort.
After a couple hours in the park, we did make our way out, but right before we left, we did see Chicken Little was out. We didn't wait to take a picture because they had a decent line. It's very hot today, and while we enjoy the movie, not necessarily our favorite character, so we're happy to just leave. we took the bus back to Animal Kingdom Lodge because we do have that savannah view, and I don't want to miss any time with the animals that we have. Of course, we loved doing the tour, and I'm happy to leave for that, but any chance I get to go back to the resort and see the animals, I want to be there. And we did get to see quite a few animals today. The rest of the afternoon and evening, they were coming and going, but there was this one giraffe that just made me laugh because they're given food. There's literally feeders on the trees for them. The other animals have food throughout the savannah. But this giraffe was determined to get this one specific leaf off this branch that was really high up. There were closer branches, but no, I got to witness this and the giraffe got it. So, I mean, good for them. But it was just hilarious because there's food literally given to all these animals. And yet sometimes they work so hard to get something else.
And I was watching the giraffes from inside in the air conditioning because it's hot outside and I really don't want to be out there if I don't have to because I can see them from the room. And I was also working. I don't want my computer to overheat. I am working on a website project that we're trying to get a little bit more done on because we're trying to get closer to launching it and it's just taking a lot of time. So I had a few hours to block off and work on it, and anytime I get dedicated time to work like that, I try to take advantage of it, especially when it's inside in the air conditioning, not outside in the heat. But I will say, there's really not a better place to work than with a savannah view. It's pretty awesome. It's a great environment to be in while you're trying to get stuff done. It just kind of makes you happy while you're working, even though you may not want to work. It's still enjoyable.
We then decided to take a walk because we love going on walks around the resorts because we're at Disney World. We love it so much, and of course we like the exercise we get from it, especially after sitting for a while. I've just been watching the animals on the savannah. He's been working, so we wanted to get up and move around a bit.
And it was also sunset time, which is a lot cooler outside.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of taking walks in the middle of the day in Florida in June, but once the sun goes down, it cools off a little bit. It can actually be really nice, and you can still kind of see the animals around dusk, so we could see a few animals out on the savannah.
And it does help that we were at Animal Kingdom Lodge because this resort is so big, we can walk around indoors and the halls just keep going and going, and so you can walk up and down the hallway. But we did find in the lobby that they had some activities laid out, and these are always so much fun. I love the activities at Animal Kingdom Lodge because they're not just interesting, they're also educational. Sometimes they have maps out showing you where different animals are located or different places are. Today they were actually showing different skulls and you could guess which skull matched which animal, so that was really interesting. I did not get all of them right, but I did get several of them, so that has to count for something. But I just really enjoy these because it's not just about having fun, it's about learning something as well. After we finished our walk, we did go back to the room and try and see animals. It was very dark, so at night you really can't see them as much as you just hear them. You can hear them eating and kind of making noises. So I stayed out there for a bit. It is a lot cooler at this point, so it is easier to be on the balcony, but you just can't see them as well. So we did do a little more work this evening before heading to bed, and that was the end of our day today. So we'll see you tomorrow
For our Year with the Ears.